Hello peoples, today I'm going to be reviewing the final X-Men movie by Fox, and that is The New Mutants. And I had very low expectations for this movie, and I thought this movie looked garbage. I thought it looked really awful. And I was entertained. There's nothing amazing about this movie, and when you look at my pros, you could tell that there's nothing really magnificent about it, but it was entertaining at moments. I'll just say an element I liked was the X-Men connection, and there's this one shot that I really liked where Anna Taylor-Joy's character is getting ready to fight this big bear. The clip's out there, but you see the thing go down her arm or whatever, and the sword, and the camera goes around her, and the sword goes onto the ground, and the camera's right behind it. It looked really cool. It gave me chills, actually. But the performances are good. The actors are fine. It's just, let's just get into the problems now. The characters suck. I'm sure you've heard that before, but the most irritating, we get one fact about each character, and they take that as a backstory. But the very irritating thing about it is they give us very little backstory, and the backstory that they give us is just plot. And it's because it's needed for the plot, and it's very irritating. And they also do a reveal in this movie about this girl's power, and I thought it was painfully obvious. I'm like, well, that you're revealing that? It doesn't need a reveal. I thought you were supposed to assume that. I guess not. Another thing I really didn't like was you can tell this movie was very much chopped up because there's a lot of security camera footage in this movie, and while they're showing security camera footage, they're also giving you plot details. Plot details through security. But no, it's not just like plot details in the footage. It's text on the footage. It's very lazy, and it irritated me every single time it happened. Another thing that bothered me was one actor, he plays Jonathan in Stranger Things, and tries to do this accent, and it was very on and off and distracting because one moment he sounded like someone from the country, and the next moment he sounded like he was I don't know, having diarrhea or something, and you're just like, what? Another thing, this movie is not scary at all. It's not scary. I wasn't scared a single second in this movie. If you asked me what type of movie this was, scary would be one of the last things I told you. There's very little action in this movie. Very, very little. And the stuff the action that they do offer is okay. It's not awful, but it's definitely gonna be forgotten by tomorrow. Another thing I didn't like was there's a three, this is how most movies are supposed to be, a 3-act structure. This movie has a first act that lasts an hour and 10 minutes and a third act that lasts 20 minutes. There's no middle act because there's barely any story or substance to it. That was very irritating. And because there's a lot of tonal issues in this movie because they kind of hinted that it's going to be his original cut, but it clearly wasn't because the tone was all over the place. And why is there one doctor in that hospital with 5 mutants that are supposed to be deadly, and they give you one doctor? It's raining outside. Let me check. Definitely raining outside, but why one doctor? It's very irritating. Glass did the same thing, and it was just as irritating it was in that movie. But overall, I know it sounds like I hate this movie. There's a lot of problems I have with it, but none of them got to me. All of these problems I have, the only ones that really got to me was the computer screen explaining plot points. But besides that, none of those problems really got to me. People were really complaining about the characters. It didn't, how they suck. That didn't bother me either. But yeah. Anyways, I want to give New Mutants a 5.5 out of 10. I give it a watch if you want to. It's if you want. But yeah. Anyways, that's, at least the X-Men didn't go out with a bad whimper, just a faint whimper. That's what I describe it. But yeah. Anyways, like, share, subscribe, and stuff like that, and adios.